Okay, well, we've got another video for you, again from the RV, cooking in the RV. Last video that I did was something that was, it really wasn't even cooking. It was mostly like a reheating. But today, we've got something special for you. My name is Charles Richard, and I own this RV, and I am doing these videos to help you guys, be a little bit more creative, get some ideas, because you actually can cook certain foods and certain things from within inside the RV. Today, we are going to be making something that I particularly like a lot. It is Cuban chili. Cuban chili, that's correct, Cuban chili. And we've got all the ingredients here. And we're going to get started in just a minute. So, let me show you some of the stuff that we're going to be using. And we're going to be doing the cooking once again in the Aroma Professional. And I use the Aroma Professional simply because it is a easy solution. All right, it is very easy to clean. It only consumes 500 watts, and when you are in an RV or a van, you don't have the luxury of having the same amount of power that you do on a house. You have what is called a limited amount of power. The Aroma Professional only consumes or only needs 500 watts. So a simple inverter, an inverter like a 1000 watt inverter, will power um, um, your cooker, your rice cooker, because it's actually a rice cooker. The difference is that the rice cooker, at 500 watts, is only going to be limited by how much capacity you have in your batteries. So if you have only one battery or two batteries, then you will have more power to be able to last longer. So when you cook on the rice cooker, you have to be careful, because a lot of the recipes, if they are recipes that take a long time, like 2 hours or 3 hours, it's going to drain your battery. All right. But for quick, easy recipes, it won't drain your battery. And so all of the recipes that I am bringing to you are very simple recipes that can be done within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, tops, and they are delicious. All right. So let's get on with it with the Cuban chili. All right. I hope that you like it. And if you do, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get cooking. Okay, guys, the first thing that I am going to show you is what it is that we're going to use for this recipe. I like using wooden utensils, for cooking, because it doesn't scratch. This particular Aroma Professional has a Teflon coating, so it's very healthy, and it won't scratch it. So I have my spoon here. I got my cutting knife, and let me tell you what we're gonna use. All right. First of all, I've got ground beef. All right, this ground beef, the prices have gone up quite a bit, quite drastically. Use with the ground beef, the more ground beef you use, the more tastier it's going to taste. This is 1 pound. We're going to use the 1 pound ground beef in the cooker. We're also going to use a can 1 can of diced tomatoes. All right, let me see if I can show you a little bit more. All right, this is Walmart's diced tomatoes. They're only like 70 cents, right? And we are going to use 1 can of chili mixed beans. Okay, this is the chili mixed beans. This is also like 70 some cents. We're going to use half an onion, scallions, and we are going to use a handful of this is a cilantro, And I am going to use half a bag of frozen kernel corn. Now, I'm using the frozen kernel corn because the corn in a can, right, is a lot more expensive. And believe it or not, corn that is canned is not fresher than corn that is frozen. A lot of people don't know that, right? But and we're trying to getting it as simple as possible. Of course, you can get your own corn and stuff like that, but we're trying to make it really easy and simple. Now, for seasonings, we're gonna use Badia Sazon Completa, as you can see here. I'm gonna use garlic powder. Okay, so we're gonna use some garlic powder. We're going to use Tex-Mex chili. Now, let me explain something to you guys, all right? The reason that I am using the Tex-Mex chili is because I don't cook chili every single day, all right? And so what I need from in here is the chili powder. And the fact that this comes in an envelope, I can use the envelope and it's done and it's gone and it's cheaper than having to buy all the extra seasonings that comes in here just to go ahead and make the chili in itself. So this comes complete and it's only this one here cost me I think $1.50, okay, for the mix. And if I was going to buy everything separately, I would be spending at least $10 to $12 for all the different seasonings that it actually has. So this is a great bargain, especially if you're only going to be doing one chili. And then and again, you know, remember, storage is an important, you know, part of being able to live in an RV. So you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff. So this is a beautiful way and a perfect way to save space and to save money while you're doing your van life or RV cooking or camping or whatever you want to call it. All right. Now, in addition, I'm going to use 2 envelopes of Sazon Goya. Sazon Goya is very popular with the Cuban community. And this gives it that extra bite and that extra flavor. And I'm going to be using one more thing, which I have here. And I don't want to, let me see if I can get it really quick. And I'm going to be using some margarine. All right, just a dash of margarine, because the beef also releases a lot of grease. But I want to use a little bit of margarine because I'm going to saute the onions first in this margarine to get it to a sort of a dante, right, before I actually put the ground beef in. All right, so let's get cooking. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to get this ready, the actual aroma. And I've got electricity on this side now, so we're not going to be using this. All right. And let me get this ready, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back, and I'm sorry that I have to bend myself a little bit down, but the camera angle is a little bit weird because I want you guys to be able to see what I am cutting. And I do apologize for my bruise. If you see my bruises, because I was in the hospital, and that's where they gave me my IV. So I'm a little bit bruised, you know, still. It takes a long time for me to heal, you know. So anyways, let me get started, okay, with you guys. All right, let's get cooking. Here we go. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, all right, because we want to add the stuff into the pot, you know, by timing as far as what is the first thing that you want to add, and then successful or how can I put it? We want to do it, you know, in steps, okay, in steps, so that when everything gets cooked, everything gets the best and the most flavorful, all right, and it doesn't get overcooked, because sometimes certain foods cook quicker than others, correct? And that's what we're gonna do. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do we're gonna cut some onion, and we're gonna do what is called a Julian cut, and we're going to add it to the Aroma Professional with a little bit of butter, just so that the onion doesn't stick. Meanwhile, we get the ground beef ready. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we're gonna take the onion. We're only gonna use half of the onion. All right, a Julian cut is a cut that goes from top to bottom, all right, not sideways. All right, so in order to do that, the first thing, most people, what they do is they peel the onion first, and that really sort of ruins the onion, because it sort of, takes a lot of the time that it actually can sit in your refrigerator. It cuts a lot of the time, and that's just not the way that most chefs do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it from top to bottom. All right, so we're going to take the knife. I'm going to give it a nice a solid cut. Okay, and perfect. And so I'm going to take the other half and we're going to store it. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag later. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it. But before I peel it, I'm going to cut the edges. All right, I'm going to cut a little bit here on the edge, and I'm going to cut a little bit on this edge. All right, and let me put this in the garbage. Perfect. And it's really easy to peel. All right, once you do that Julian cut, look how easy it is. Okay, you can just, take it with your fingers and it just comes right off. Okay, we're gonna take the first layer off. There we go. All right, so it is peeled really quick, and as you can see in the center, right, you can see that the cut is different, and so by making this type of cut, it's called a Julian cut. And so what we're going to do is we're going to slice it in half, and then we're going to slice it in chunks. All right, so here we go. So we're going to slice it, and we're just going to slice it. The bigger the chunks, the better, because we don't want to do small pieces, because the smaller the piece, the quicker it cooks. And I don't want it to cook very quickly. I want it to actually, take a little bit of time cooking, right? All right, and so here we go, and that's what we got here. All right, perfect. We're gonna turn the Aroma Professional. You got a button right here. And then what I do is I put the on the oatmeal. Oatmeal is the same as sauteing. And you're going to start seeing it starts moving over here. See how it starts moving? That means that now it is heating up. So we're going to prepare the actual cooking. And I'm going to just put just a little bit of butter. I don't want to put a lot of butter, because remember, the meat has a lot of, a lot of grease, which I prefer that grease. Okay, that's all I'm going to use right there. All right. And we can store this away. And we're going to wait for it to melt. Okay. So in the meantime, let's clean that knife. And I'm going to take the knife, just wipe it down. It is just margarine, so there's nothing wrong with it. Don't have to rinse it and none of that stuff, because it's margarine. Margarine is good when you're cutting, because it helps, it helps the cut be a little bit more precise and more better. And we're going to stir it around, make sure that it the butter is actually melting on the bottom. And it is. Oh, this recipe is going to be just wonderful, guys. This recipe, let me tell you, you can be very, very creative in a lot of things, and chili doesn't necessarily need to be like everybody does chili. No, there's many ways to do chili. It's just, your taste and what you like best. That's how you actually, want to do your cooking, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to dump the onions. Now, guys, when you are using a board and when you're cutting and when you want to, let's say, plate something, I see a lot of people that actually takes the knife and on the sharp end, they'll take the sharp end and they will actually slide it against the board. That dulls your knife. When you want to, let's say, slide something into a pot, turn with a knife, turn your knife around on the opposite edge and use that to slide, okay, to push your vegetables or your onions or whatever it is that you want to, whatever you just cut, right? Okay, that's the right way to do it. All right, don't use the sharp edge to slide it against the board or against any surface, because eventually it's going to damage your knife and it's going to dull it. All right, so here we go. Okay, the butter is nice and melted, so we're going to add this. And you can hear it sizzling there. You see, a rice cooker is more than just a rice cooker, okay? It can also saute. You can cook eggs. You can cook all kinds of things on here. Oh, and the smell is just wonderful. Oh, it smells so good. Now, because I have the onions right now, and I want that strong garlicky flavor, all right, and the butter, all right, actually acts as a very good adhesive with garlic, okay, with garlic powder. So I'm going to turn and add some garlic powder and convert the actual butter into garlic butter. So we're going to add a little bit of garlic. And we're going to stir it. Now, you don't want to add too much garlic, all right? You just want to add just a little bit, all right? Just to get that aroma of that onion and that garlic with the buttery garlic, you know, just coming to you, that Spanish flavor, you know, and it just makes it so awesome, right? So let's get going, and let's now add the beef. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this in half. This is what I find best. Okay, I cut it in half, and I add it in. We're gonna add the whole thing. Just squeeze it out. Oh, this thing is smelling so good, and it's not even it's not even done yet. Beautiful. Okay, we got everything out. Oh, we got a little piece here. Let's get this little piece out here. All right, and we have another piece here. All right. So now we're gonna throw this away. And again, I'm gonna clean my knife, wipe my knife down. Meanwhile, that starts heating up. Okay. You see, the butter on the knife, okay, allows the knife to be cleaned very easily. So we're gonna start stirring this. Start breaking the ground beef inside the pot. And this is what takes the longest, because you want the beef to actually start releasing the grease and actually start browning. But you don't want to overcook the beef, because once you add the beans and you add the rest of the stuff, you're going to lower the temperature. We're going to lower the temperature, and it's actually going to start simmering and creating that awesome chili flavor. Now, I don't put any seasoning yet on the beef until the actual meat, okay, starts to brown a little bit. All right, I want the meat first to release the grease, because if I put the seasoning right now, when it starts releasing the grease, what it's going to do is going to wash that seasoning from the top of the meat itself. So we don't want that. So the first thing that I do is I heat it and I let the meat brown. Oh, this thing is looking really good. And it smells so good. So I'm gonna brown the meat. The meat is gonna take about 5 minutes for it to brown. And once it's lightly brown, all right, beginning to brown, then I'm gonna start adding the rest of the condiments. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, and the meat right now is semi-brown, right? You can still see a little bit reddish on the meat, right? And that's what we want, okay? We want the meat to actually be a little bit reddish. So now the first thing that I want to do, that I want to add, right, is I want to add a little bit of the chili mix. I'm going to add only about half, right? And I am also going to add my sazon completa, and I'm going to add 1 envelope of Goya. So let's start with the sazon completa, because this way I can see how much it is. We want to add about 2 tablespoons, all right, of sazon completa, all right, onto the meat, and we want to stir it nice. Now, don't think that you actually put a lot of season, because remember that now that season is going to be on the meat itself, but also once you start adding the diced tomatoes, and you start adding the beans and everything else that goes in there, right? Okay, is going to dilute the amount that we just added in there. So 2 tablespoons is fine. And we're going to stir it. And you can smell the Spanish flavor, which is awesome. Okay, now the next thing we're going to add is I want to add only half of my chili, only half of the chili package. We're going to add the whole thing, but we're going to add only half to the meat, and then after we add the beans, we're going to add the rest of it. Okay, that's about half, and we're going to stir it. We're going to stir it really good, because we want that chili powder, okay, to actually, get on the beef itself. Real easy recipe, okay, guys, real easy recipe. And now I'm going to take one envelope, and I'm going to add it to the chili, to the meat, that is. Perfect. And we're going to stir it. Let me throw this away. We're going to stir it again. Now this is still on saute on high, which in this particular rice cooker, it's called the oatmeal. And I want you to take a look at the consistency. Take a look at that consistency. Okay, can you see it there? All right. The consistency has got a nice color. It's got a reddish brown from the chili. It's got garlic powder in it. Also, it's got the onion. It's got the little bit of butter, and it's not super dry. All right, so it's really good. All right, and so now what we want to do is we want to add the beans, but we want to drain the beans. Now, guys, when you are doing van life or anything that is remote or portable, right? Okay, I highly recommend that you get the cans that have the self-opening cans, because not always are you going to have a can opener. Not always is it feasible to have that. This is an easy solution. And so this here is a 15-ounce mixed chili bean can, and that is what we're going to add, okay, to our Cuban chili. All right, now, just to get you a better idea, the mixed chili beans comes with a dark red kidney beans, pinto beans, black beans, and chili sauce. All right, so we're gonna add this. Now, I'm going to, perfect. Now, you can drain it, all right, if you're going to add tomato sauce, right? In my situation, I'm not going to add tomato sauce, so I'm going to use this as a substitute of tomato sauce because it has a chili sauce in it. So we're going to add the whole can. And we got a runaway bean. Okay, perfect. Let me throw this away. And we're going to stir it, because that beautiful sauce and that beautiful chili flavor, you can smell the aroma in here. It's just awesome. The aroma is just wonderful. And I'm going to give it a little taste to make sure that everything is going just as planned. So here's my tasting spoon. Any good chef always tastes his food. Mm, mm. Wow. And it's not even complete. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to add the diced tomatoes. But this time, I do want to drain the diced tomato. Again, it's an easy can opening. And this is a 14 ounce, okay, fire roasted, all right, because the fire roasted gives it a little bite. You don't have to use fire roasted. I use fire roasted because I like my chili on the spicier side. But if you don't like your chili on the spicier side, just go ahead and grab the regular chili. And let me adjust this a little bit. Here we go. All right, so let's open this up. And let me drain it. Perfect. I'm going to add it on here, the whole can. Oh, this is wonderful. And we're going to stir it. we're going to give it another taste. I'm going to give it another taste just to make sure that, it doesn't really need anything besides the fact that we need to add the chili seasoning to it. Yes, we need to add the rest of the chili mix, but we can taste that roasted, that roasted tomato. It's awesome. So we're gonna add the chili mix, and we're gonna add the second envelope of Sazon Goya. I like adding it and stirring it, and then adding some more and stirring it, because I don't want it all to be just like one big lump. And we're going to add the rest of it. And that's the whole package. We're going to stir it. Cuban chili, guys. Cuban chili. It goes very good with a avocado salad. The Cuban avocado salad is not guacamole. The Cuban avocado salad is tomatoes, avocado, and onion, sliced avocado, sliced tomatoes, and sliced onion in a vinaigrette style dressing. And oh my God, it is so good. But I don't have any avocados, so I did not do that. I'm just doing this simple dressing or a recipe. And so we're going to add the corn. And we're only going to add half a bag of corn. This is actually 12 ounces, so we're going to add 6 ounces of corn. That half a bag? It sure is. Okay. And I got some runaway corns. And the rest we're going to put in a Ziploc bag and we're going to freeze it. But we need to stir this. And I'm going to show you the consistency. But it's still not done. Okay? Because now we're going to simmer it for about 20 minutes. But take a look at the consistency. You can see the corn. You can see the meat. You can see the tomatoes. All right? The corn, the meat, the tomatoes, It's wonderful. Let me tell you, it tastes really, really, really good. And so now we're going to close it. And we're going to give it about 15, 20 minutes, all right? And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add my final touches, my cilantro and my scallions, and we're going to eat. So be right back. Okay, so now we're going to add I'm going to actually cut the scallions, right? And the cilantro. We're going to add it last. So I'm going to take a little bunch right here. And I'm just going to, cut it into little pieces. This gives it some nice, beautiful color. I don't want to cut it too small. And I don't want to cut it too big. I just want to cut enough so that it gives me, a very nice, colorful chili. It adds a lot of texture to it, and it looks good, and it tastes good. And so we're just about done cutting this here. We're not going to cut all the way. We're just going to cut, and we don't want the white part, okay? So the white part, we're just going to use it for something else. And this is wonderful. All right, and so we're going to add this to the chili. But before I add this to the chili, I got to add the last envelope of Goya. We're going to add that. We're going to stir it. Okay, we just added it. And I'm going to stir it. Always make sure that your spoon goes all the way to the bottom, because you don't want nothing to stick on the bottom. And I'm going to put this on the side for a second, and I'm going to add the scallions. Oh, this is looking so good. And we're going to stir it. And my chili is very nice and thick. I like the chili nice and thick. This is wonderful. Very wonderful. And we're going to give it one more test. I'm going to put this here. Let's give it a one more test. Definitely. Now we're going to add the cilantro, and it's going to make a huge difference. So we're going to take the cilantro, and I'm going to mince it. I don't have a long handle, so I cannot do the famous chef, cuts, because this is a smaller knife. Oh, this is perfect. So we're gonna wipe my my knife. Okay, and I'm gonna add it. Put the spoon in there. Fresh cilantro. Fresh cilantro is one of the trademarks of a Spanish dish. Okay, and we got the cilantro, and we've got the scallions, and so now we're going to just stir it in. Oh, this looks just wonderful. Let me give it one final taste, and then we're gonna let it actually simmer for a few minutes so that the cilantro flavor and the scallions flavor can blend in with the chili. So let's give it a quick taste. Oh my God, perfect. So let's close it up, and I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes, and then it's going to be ready to eat. See you in a minute. Okay, guys, this chili is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a cup, all right, because I've got some chips, and I'm going to eat it with some chips. So let me put it in this cup. It is so wonderful. The texture is so beautiful. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. And the consistency is perfect. It's not too watery. It's a perfect consistency. And you can see the beans, and you can see the freshness of the cilantro and the scallions, and all the greatness of it. Take a look at that. Take a look at that chili. Here, let me move the camera so you can see it better. Take a look at this chili. Now that is a Cuban chili. So we're gonna get ready, and this is how it's served. I'm gonna show you how we serve it. But let me tell you guys, it is. Oh, it tastes so good. It really, really, really tastes so good. Let me turn this off and let me just put it on warm. All right, because we don't want it to burn. All right, perfect. All right, so it's still heated. All right. So let me show you how we serve this. We serve it with a bowl of tortilla chips. Tortilla chips, okay? So come on, and let's go ahead and try some of this and see how it turned out, okay? Okay, guys, and so we have come to an end to this Cuban chili, this awesome Cuban flavor, and it wasn't very hard to do. It only took about 30 minutes to do. I took a very slow time because I was trying to explain things to you. But without me talking, it actually only takes me about 30 minutes to prep everything up and get it nice and cooked up. And but yes, this is the traditional Cuban chili, and you can see it here with some chips. And a beer is normally how the Cubans eat this, and it's really really good. So let's give it a taste, and let's see what it actually how it actually turned out. Take my nacho, you dip it. Mm. Oh my God. Mm. Mm. It is so good. The flavors just blend to a perfection. I love it. Try it and let me know if you did try it. Let me know how you like this Cuban chili recipe. Well, until our next time, I hope you do good, and we will bring you. I will bring you another simple and quick recipe that you can do from a van, from an RV, or from a campground, or even from your home. Because these are not just limited to RVs and vans, but they are ideal for vans and RVs because they are quick. They don't use a lot of power, and they taste good. All right. So until next time, be safe and be blessed. Bye bye.